Let's quickly discuss about systematic random sampling. Some people call this as systematic sampling. In previous two lectures, we discussed about simple random sampling and stratified random sampling, which are used specifically for finite populations. Systematic random sampling is generally used for infinite populations. But actually, this is an intermediate level sampling technique where we can use for finite populations and infinite populations. If you read many books, some textbooks, they have mentioned that this is specifically for infinite populations, and some books mention that this is for finite populations. But I would say we can use for both, but comparatively small populations. For example, number of patients in outpatient department of a hospital. Assume that we are getting 500 patients per day, but that is not a constant. So today we may be getting 500 patients, and tomorrow we may be getting 600, and next day 550. So there's no proper upper limit. But we can assume that number of patients per day is around 500. We are interested in finding out the quality of water of a river. We know the starting point, we know the final point. It is kind of finite population, but it is so long, it's difficult to collect water samples at every point. So we may be selecting a part of river and we can collect water samples in every kilometer. Okay, assume that this is number of patients who are attending the hospital clinic. From patient 1, daily we are getting about 500 patients. We need a sample of 50 to study about knowledge about a certain disease. One important thing here is, assume that this is a major hospital where many people from faraway places are coming. So, in this place, there may be patients who are coming on previous day to the hospital and registered early in the morning. And this part may consist with patients who are coming early morning. And the last part may be the patients who are latecomers or who are working in some workplace, and after finishing the work, they may be attending the hospital in the evening. If you select a small proportion, it may not be representing the people who are attending last. Systematic sampling is specifically used when you need to cover the total population. You need people from the beginning of the population, at the mid part, at the latter part. For that, we need to calculate something called sampling interval. In sampling interval, we divide the total population size, which is 500 approximately, divide by the sample size that you need, equals 10. So, the sampling interval is 10. Then what we do is, we get every 10th individual from this population. 10th one, 20th one, 30th one. So like that, ultimately 490th one and the last person. So altogether, the sample size will be 50. We are taking every 10th individual. Total sample will be representing the total distance or the total area of the population. I am highlighting when you need representation from all the aspects of the population, you can go for systematic sampling. If I summarize, generally, systematic sampling can be for infinite populations or finite populations. Also, when you need representation from whole population, you can go for systematic sampling. Sometimes some people use systematic sampling as an alternative procedure for simple random sampling. Simple random sampling can be replaced by systematic in some places. You need to be careful when you are replacing simple random sampling by systematic sampling. I'll give you an example. Okay, assume that you need a sample of primary school children from grade 1 to 5. Grade 1 to 5 from a primary school. Stand in a line according to the order of your height. Assume that there are 500 students in that school. Now they are in order of their height, 500 school children. Assume that you need only 50. So as in previous example, we will be getting every 10th individual. 20th, so like that, the last person. Think a while, what are the problems associated with this? You will be taking the tallest person among the first 10 students. Then you will be taking the tallest person from the second 10 students. So like that, in every 10 individuals, you will be taking the tallest one. That means you are introducing a bias. You will be overestimating the average height. If your primary objective is to calculate the average height of these people, definitely you will be overestimating because you are taking the tallest person of each 10 students. Keep in mind, if there's an order like this in total population, don't go for systematic sampling. Or else, we can change the procedure a little bit. You might be taking the 10th individual from the first 10 students and the first individual from the second 10 students. Like that, there are several procedures that you can take in systematic sampling to overcome these barriers. Next, we will consider what is cluster sampling.